Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I really do appreciate your time. I've got a super exciting day today. I'm headed out to a fiber event. It is about a 2.5-hour drive, which I'm going by myself, so hopefully that doesn't burn me out too bad, but I enjoy driving, I enjoy fiber events, so I'm really looking forward to the day. All right, good morning. It is the next day, guys. Are you ready for story time? I had such a fantabulous day yesterday. I cannot wait to start telling you all about it. But before I jump into that, I do want to say I went to the post office and picked up what I anticipate to be the last of the square sending squad to be sending any squares. So Dina, thank you very much. You're my local friend here from St. Louis. And then A from Philadelphia, I've got a package from you as well. So thank you so much. Those will be opened on another video with my other 2 packages that I've got. So stay tuned for that. All right, so story time begins. So you saw how excited I was to get my day started and to get going. I had some food ready to go, but the chips were too salty and my Red Bull got warm before I was ready to drink it. So I did have to stop, get a new Red Bull, and stop for some gas. And so anyway, so I finally make it. It's an enjoyable drive. I have no issues with the drive whatsoever. And I'm ready to start shopping for yarn. Now, sometimes when I've been to these things, it's a drive to get there. And then it's just like, wah, wah. Like I've made a big drive on my own before, but on the drive home, I was starting to feel sick and I was tired and fevered, like probably from the end of my time at the event into the car to drive home. And then I even made a side stop that was like kind of out of the way, thinking I was going to hit another yarn shop, and that was a fail. So so I drove home and then was sick for like the next couple of days or something like that. So my last long drive to an event really didn't balance out, you know, getting goodies or enjoying myself for the drive that it took. So this one made up for it, not tenfold, but 100-fold. Okay, so the event was held at a church, as you can see, and it was, I thought online when I looked at the picture, it was a fairly large room, and it really is. There were 5 vendors selling yarn, and then maybe another couple that were selling yarn from their stash, so that was like not real exciting to me. There was some pretty good deals on some things, but at that point I had already bought all my new yarn, so I was able to pass that up without, you know, dying too bad inside. um, and so the first place that I'll share with you that I stopped at is called Apothefeary, and I've seen her at multiple shows before, and I always love her yarn color choices. It's always very hard to choose between which yarns you're going to buy of hers. And so I decided that this event was definitely the one where I was going to make a purchase from her for the first time. And she's really good to correct you if you had like the wrong green. Like this one lady was looking at a yellow with a green kind of, and it was the wrong green that was in the variegated. So she was really good to set us straight on which was the right color to go with that variegated or whatever. And I was ready to make my purchase, and I asked her if I could take a picture with her, which I was very embarrassed about, but I kind of just wanted to do it. And so she said, "Oh, I really hate pictures, but okay, fine." So she was gracious enough to let me take a picture with her. But in this event, I really wanted to get yarns that would be new to me, or fibers that would be new to me. So I scored all the way across the board on this. So I think I'll show you this one first. This is kind of what drove me to get her yarn. So this is her label, Apothefeary Fabrications. And this one is a linen merino called High Twist. It is 90% merino and 10% Belgium linen. So each of these have 398 yards, which I thought was an amazing amount of yardage. And as you can see, it is phenomenal, beautiful colors. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I want to eat it. I love it so much. So this was sitting close enough to it that I knew that these were going to be the buddies that go together. Whoops. I'll show you the green down here as well. And she said, yes, that is the one that went with that color scheme or that dyeing base or whatever, you know, the color base. And I was looking for, I also wanted to grab this purple. And so I grabbed one that was a variegated with purples and some greens, but a little bit different. And she said, that's pretty, but that's not the right one. So that's where I was telling you, she helped me find, which I couldn't find. It was on a hidden shelf, or, you know, people put the pegs differently. And so here is the one that goes with it. Can you just love that? So here's my set. Here's my set. And so with, you know, four, almost 1,200 yards of this beautiful merino with linen. I have not done shawls. I have not used linen blends before, so I'm over the moon excited about these. She had other ones that have some silks and things like that in it, but this was my direction to get from her for my first purchase. Finally, yay, yay, yay. I love those. Love, love, love. And then I went to the next station, which is Hill Creek Yarns. Now, or Hill Creek Farm. I always say that wrong. I beg your pardon. I'll put it in. Because he sells yarn. I've seen him at other vendor events. He sells yarn, but he also sells, it's not his yarn. He sells people's yarn or whatever, you know, other. So he's got some Leading Men Fiber Arts yarns that have a, I don't remember what the other fiber is in it, but I didn't want to buy that one. And so anyway, so he's got a bunch of different people's yarns. So it's always like, what's his inventory today? You never know what he's going to have. But besides the yarns, he's got tons of crochet hooks and knitting needles. And he does a lot of felting stuff. And what's that with the pegboard and the pieces? I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Lots of different crafts this guy's got in his station. So I have not bought from him before, but again, this was one where I did want to buy from each of the 5. And this is a yarn that I don't think I've ever seen before, and I love it. So I was unable to choose between colors, so I bought 2. And I don't know which to show you first. I guess I'll show you this one. So I did not know what to think when I bought this. When I was holding it, when I was squishing it, it's awesome. It is 95% cotton and 5% polyester, and it's a bulky weight. There's 175 yards here, and this colorway is called Peacock. So all these people are going to be linked down below, but I'm going to also, this guy's going to get a twofer because I'll link Hill Creek as well as the person who made the yarn here. So you can see some, I don't know if you guys got that good enough. I'll put that in there for you. So yeah, beautiful color, beautiful, beautiful color. I think there were 2 of these. No, there was only 1 of these, but I wanted 2 of these. But he also had this one, and I could not, there were 2 of this, but I didn't want 2 of this color. I wanted 2 of that purple and green. This one is called Koi Pond. Isn't it gorgeous? So I'll do some nice little cowl or hat or something. It's very, very soft. I absolutely love that. So could you have chosen between the 2 and only bought 1? There was one more colorway. I'll put it in right here. I don't remember what that one was called. I think it was called Parrot or something, but gorgeous. So that was actually my first purchase, but not the first station that I went to. So I continued to walk. I went back and forth, you know, so I went to the first place first. The first place is called Treasure Goddess. I can't say it like a pirate. Treasure Goddess Yarn. So that was the first station. And then I went to Apothefeary. And then I went to Hill Creek Farm and bought that bulky from him. and then went back to the 2 of those a couple of times, still not deciding. I'll be back, I'll be back, I'll be back. And then I went to this place, and they had quite a lot of yarn, and it was a lot of gorgeousness, as you can imagine. And but I again was kind of in that mindset. So this was a new vendor to me. I'd never seen them before, but I still wanted to buy like a fiber that I had never seen before. And I spent probably the longest amount of time at this place being unable to decide which one I was going to buy. But as you can see, I'll put in the picture right here because I'm talking about it right now. Up on the top of this shelving system, whatever, is a shawl that she's got, that she's put gray with some other colors. And she pointed out which of the 2 sets she used for that. And I thought, oh, that's really pretty. That's a no-brainer. I can see what it looks like. So I'll buy those. And then as I was still sitting there in her station deciding, I don't want to get that one because that's the sample. Let's find a different color combination. And my eye just can't see it. And I wanted to get a gray from another station, so I was trying to stay away from the gray that was in that grouping. So the one that we ended up, I asked her to come over and help me. We talked about the colors and what I have and what I want and what she thought would go well together. And this one is called, I'm trying to find it, Purl Up and Knit. And so I thought that was kind of funny since I don't knit. So this is the colorway that I got. I'll hold it this way so you can see. It's absolutely gorgeous. And these are 20 gram minis of 87 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Yes. And the colorways are Nudist, in order, Nudist, Mom's Jeans, Thistle, Maple, Stonewash, Basil, Apple, and Denim. So I like the names. I like the yarn colors. I thought that would be a really pretty garment. And then we chose this to be the every other row, the solid input. And this one's called Mahogany. And so this yarn is made up of 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So what do you guys think of that color combination? It's kind of got an older feel, I think, nostalgic, like I'm thinking of my grandpa's old chair type thing. But yeah, so I think just looking at the shawl that she had made up, it's like a feather and fan stitch. So I'll come up with something, maybe I'll do a rectangle wrap or something like that, so I can just use the yarn till it's out. So that I was super excited about. And again, here, if I didn't show her, that is her yarn label, New Garden Farms. And so the other thing that they had that I thought was really, really cute were these little jars. And she called them, some were flowers and some were veggies. And it came like with a little recipe with telling you how to knit them. Obviously, that doesn't help me out at all because I don't knit. So I kind of thought that that was a little bit not necessary for me. It was filled with different colored minis. And so I've got plenty of minis in my life. I didn't need just specifically a little jar of minis. It's a cute idea and it would be great for a gift type thing if you know somebody who knits. But then I went to the next station, and this was going to be my last new station that I had visited. And I didn't purchase anything the first time that I went. I again went back, took some pictures of things that I liked, and was going to come back later when I decided what I'd purchased from the other stations. And so what I got from that, now she was spinning as, we sat, as people were shopping and stuff, she was sitting there spinning. And so she had these great bags of, like, one was a little kit that was, if you were a beginner spinner, it had a little spindle thing and a little thing of yarn, or it's not yarn yet. I guess it's just that fiber, whatever it's called, floss or whatever. And so you could learn to spin right there, in one little kit. Or if you were more experienced, or if you wanted a bigger one, there was a bag with a spindle thing, and then you could buy, or you could add any of the big wheels of that fiber that you could see, and that would be your kit. You could pick your own. So I thought that was a lot of fun if that was your jam. But instead, I found this and I am in love with it. So this is the Blue Faced Leicester Wool Silk 2-ply DK. Color's kind of busting out a little bit. It's 230 yards. And so here is her label, Renee's Revolutions. You can see her little spinning wheel there. And I just thought it was a beautiful, beautiful yarn. I love the way that the color sprawls through it. Now, I've been having some issues with loving the way skein looks in my hand, and then skeining it or caking it up and starting to use it and not being happy. So I really told myself to kind of stay away from anything that might go that route. And so in seeing this, I really hope that it doesn't. The colors are just so beautiful as they are right here. I can't imagine working something up and not liking it. It's not 1000% soft, but it is very, very soft. So I'm very happy with that. And the last station that I ended up purchasing from is the Treasure Goddess. Yarrrrrn! So here is her bag. Super, super nice lady. And again, I'm so horrible with asking names or anything like that. I didn't get her name, but we chit-chatted quite a bit because I kept throwing her off. She would go to another station, you know, to look at somebody else's table, see what they've got. But then I'd show up in her place again. And so she'd run back over like, I have a customer. I got to be there for my customer. I felt so bad making her run back and forth like that. But I couldn't decide what I wanted to buy because she had the softest. She had some great stuff. She had some yak blend. She had this cashmere blend that it was just beyond soft. I could not stop touching it. But so as you can see, I'll put the picture in here of that stand of yarn. I didn't really care for the colors that she had, and I didn't really want the yellow one, but I really wanted to buy the yarn. I thought a minute about getting the white, but then I thought that's really out of my comfort zone. It's just white, but it's so soft. You have to touch it to believe it. And then some of her kits. So she had some of this that had sparkle in it, and was saying that you know, she didn't have a supply of the sparkles. The sparkle was in a kit, and again, it was a knitting kit with a recipe, you know, a pattern, a knitting pattern, and some stitch markers for knitting stitch markers. So that doesn't help me at all. But she said I'd very happily take that yarn out of the kit and sell you the yarn by itself. So that's what we did. So which do I show you first? Okay, so I thought I was going to get the gray yarn from her, which is why this one I didn't want to do the gray combination, because I knew I wanted to get the gray from her. So this is the one that I had her pull out of a kit with the sparkly. It is so gorgeous. It is so soft. It is merino and nylon and a little bit of stellina for the sparkle. This ghost ship. And she had one called Lusty Wench. I thought that was funny. But the Sparkle Toes sock yarn. Now, I cannot wait to find a cowl to make up with that. Again, the one that she had was in knit, but it was gorgeous. It makes me want to learn how to knit. But the whole reason that I could not leave her station is because of this next yarn. The pattern, she did find the pattern for this yellow scarf on Ravelry. She said it was $8. And I challenge myself to sort of make a pattern from something that I see sometimes. So I thought maybe I would do it with this one. And so in deciding, I initially wanted to get the gray for this yarn, but decided because I wanted the gray sparkle, I would get this blue. Look at this. Look at this fabulous, explosive color. It's called Swimming with the Fishes, and it is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. Show that to you there. Beyond gorgeous, beyond gorgeous, and so soft. If this was Touch-O-Vision, I wanted, it is so soft, you guys. I don't know what I would make with this. if it weren't for seeing that that scarf. I don't know. Do I want to spend the $8 for the Ravelry pattern? Maybe. I don't know. But I just could not pass up getting some of this. Love it, love it, love it. So that was my purchase for the day as far as my yarn goes. So again, here's the bag that she gave to me. So now it's time to eat, because I've had just the little bit of snacks that I drove with, and that wasn't very much at all. And it was about 11:30 when I ate last. So I think now it was about 4, because I spent 2 hours there. I got there at 2, left at 4. And so the treasure goddess Yarrrrrn, I just like saying that. She was telling me, she had an associate, they were telling me that there was some barbecue across the street that was divine. So of course I had to go over and get some for myself. And I just absolutely loved the way, after I ordered, and the gal went to make my food, she turns around to the warmer, pulls this beautiful brisket right out of the thing right in front of me on the counter there, and starts cutting it up. That was awesome. What an experience. I loved that. Besides the fact it was delicious. So I was just going to get in the car and start to drive, but there were some picnic tables out front, and I had to sit down and eat a few bites first because it was so good. So instead of having to stop and get like a McDonald's cheeseburger or something, I'm eating brisket on the way home in the car. So at one point on the way home, I saw a big sign on the side of the road that was flashing that said that the traffic was stopped up ahead because of an accident. And so I decided to take the opportunity to go ahead and pull off the highway to a souvenir candy shop that is on the side of Highway 44. I'm sure it's a great place for families to stop if, everybody needs to get out and stretch your legs and get a little something to eat or whatever. But it was just, souvenir stuff. I don't need any souvenir stuff. But this place it's known for its name of a planet that people make body jokes from. I'll just say it like that. So the planet Uranus, this candy shop has been named for, and they're known for their fudge, I suppose. The line for the fudge was too long, and I didn't feel like waiting that long, but I did get some saltwater taffy. And so they've got a bunch of barrels that you can walk by and fill your bag, and it's all weighed together, but I am a fan of saltwater taffy, and so I decided to go ahead and just get kind of 3. Like, I don't want too much variety. I've got cinnamon. One of my other favorites that I get is raspberry lemonade. I know it's kind of purple and not like a pinky like you might think raspberry would be, but that's a raspberry lemonade. And to reference KK, your excitement to find out that yarn was the watermelon yarn, I bought some watermelon taffy, thinking of you, dear. So that was a fun little stop. I'm glad I finally stopped there. All these years that we've passed it, we're never in the mood to stop because we're heading home, or heading out. So I was really glad to finally stop while I was on my own, having my own wonderful, perfect day. Bit of a somber note. So as I was driving home, I could see on the overpasses that there were fire trucks and flags being displayed. So I continued on, and I see the second overpass that has some, lights flashing. And I know that there's a respect thing happening here. We're honoring somebody, we're respecting somebody for something. So then I see the third one also hanging with a flag, and I just start watching the road up ahead. What am I missing? What's going on? And I could see people looking in the direction that I was driving. So at one point, I do see that there is a funeral procession going by. And as I walk through life or whatever, when I've got a video to create for you guys, I kind of talk through it in my head. And I started to form the words like I'm talking to you guys, telling you what I'm seeing. And I choke up and start to cry in my car recognizing the respect and the honor that is happening here. And I don't have words. I can't even talk through it. So when I get home, I find on Facebook that somebody questioned, hey, does anybody know what that procession was all about? And there was a Korean War MIA that was being brought home after 74 years. And it just started to make me think about what soldiers have done for this country, and fallen soldiers, what their families put up with, you know, what they have to deal with not knowing where their loved ones, whatever happened to their loved ones. And so now being able to put closure for his family, it was, I knew I was passing something important. And so yeah. So the last thing I was going to share photo-wise, I thought I was getting some really awesome sun setting photos for you, and realized that the dash camera in my car in the back is facing strangely. So I wasn't, so thankfully for, you know, wanting to provide you some photos, I can see that I need to adjust my dash camera so that it actually picks up a car that might rear end me or whatnot. So, so anyway, fabulous trip. Like I said, you know, sometimes, most of the time when the sun starts to go down, I start yawning, especially if we're still out driving somewhere. You know, if we go out to a late dinner or something, I'm almost asleep in the car by the time we get home. So for me to be so excited to still be awake at that point, you know, coming home after such a wonderful, wonderful day, it was just fantastic. So sorry for the long video. I just really wanted to share what a wonderful day I had. And yeah, so hope you enjoyed coming along with me. Thank you so much for your time as always. I do sincerely appreciate you so much. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.